Hello everyone, welcome to episode 22 of Andersmillknits, and I'm your host Emily, also known as aka Millie on Ravelry and aka Millie907 on Instagram. Thank you all for joining me today on my sister's birthday. She's in Alaska, so I can't spend it with her, but I have grand plans to talk to her later on today. And it's a beautiful day today in the Portland area, and I'm really enjoying life. My legs are killing me, and I'll get into why in just a little bit. But for right now, I want to thank everyone for your friendship and for all of you who communicate with me on the boards and on YouTube, and I've been having such a blast. I don't know why my last episode generated so many views, and I loved the conversations that we had on YouTube, mainly with my strong and steady folks, and it was just so much fun, and I'm so grateful for all of you who entered into the birthday giveaway. There was 10 entries because the first post was mine, and I did draw a winner on that one, and we'll get to that in just a second as well. But I just want to thank you all for that, because it's just been such a blast. I've been so excited about the podcast lately. It's honestly, I think about it every single day. And you know what, funnily enough, I was talking to my brother yesterday, and he didn't come out and say that I inspired him to do a podcast, but I think it's interesting that my brother started, he hasn't published his podcast as yet, because he's banking a lot of episodes, which I think is so organized and amazing. But he's going to be coming out with a podcast based off of one of his music projects that he does here in the Portland area, and I'm so proud of him. And we were just talking about the community online, and how I feel like he's going to be very well received for what he's doing. And then we kind of talked a little bit about something that's very controversial. Now, I don't know who does this, but I do know that there are a lot of podcasters out there, including knitting podcasters, who actually pay for views on YouTube so that they can bump up their ratings on YouTube, so they can get more coverage and be more recognizable. So I obviously don't, because I have such a small number of views compared to all these other people, and there are people who, honest to goodness, really do have that many views on their podcast, and that rightly so and deservingly so. So we were just talking about that, and my brother was saying, that's a legitimate way to actually get out there and get well known. It's not something that I would do, as I just kind of view it as a little bit underhanded, but I do understand the drive for people to do that. But I don't know if my brother's going to do that at all. I seriously doubt it. I don't think he's going to have a need for it. But it was just a really cool conversation that we had about that, and I was telling him about how, it's really nice to know that even though I don't have thousands of views on my YouTube channel, the views that I do have are people that, for the most part, I interact with, and I know who they are. And it's so fun! Oh, I just love you guys so much. So thank you for all of the support. I just love it. Makes me feel like I'm part of something bigger. Does that make sense? So anyway, why don't we get into reviewing some notes from the past 2 weeks. Now, I'm probably going to put down here a little timestamp for when you can get into the knitting stuff, because my reviewing notes might go a little long, because I've had so much fun the last 2 weeks. So actually, I need to pause and go get something. So excuse me for one moment. Okay, everybody, I'm back. Thank you for allowing me to go get that. The first thing I wanted to talk about that happened, not this, well, I'm in a weekend right now, but the last weekend was that my husband's boss, and honestly probably a good friend at this point, texted my husband on Saturday morning and said, hey, why don't you guys come over and pick as many berries and have free reign of the farm, and just, you know, pick berries to your heart's content. So I was so excited because this man has a beautiful hobby farm, or urban farm. I don't know what you would call it. They're kind of in the country, and he just loves to farm, but he doesn't really have many, he doesn't really have an end goal for what he's growing, right? So he's not growing things to sell, and he's not exactly growing things to then make something from what he grows. He just loves the act of farming. So he has a huge, well, in my standards, area of land, probably about half an acre of just grapes, green grapes, and then he has probably a quarter of an acre of blackberry, rows of blackberry bushes, and that's what I concentrated on this time when I went down there. And I picked blackberries. I just had such an amazing time. My husband, he was so funny, because we went to his boss's house. Instead of actually joining me to pick blackberries, they just set up a whole security system at the house, and my husband, being the IT geek that he is, he had never worked with security systems before, so he's learning as he goes. And so he had learned a few things the night before about the security system that he wanted to implement, and it didn't matter that it was on his free time. He didn't care. He just wanted to implement it, and so he spent his time doing that in the barn and in the house. And I spent my time picking blackberries, and I think for about an hour, I picked blackberries, and I got 21 pounds of blackberries. And I'll flash a photo of it here, but at the same time, at the end of the video, of the podcast episode, there'll be a string of videos and pictures of the farm, of the blackberry picking, and of what came after. And so 21 pounds. And I think I did not even get through 1/2 of a row of blackberries. So he has about 10 rows of blackberries, and I didn't even get through 1/2 of one row. Now I did go on both sides of the bushes, you know, because the row, right? And so I went on this side and on this side, and I just concentrated on one row. And I was just like, I can't pick anymore. I don't even think I'm gonna, I think I'm gonna waste some of the blackberries that I have picked. And so my husband was like, well, what are you gonna do with all of these blackberries? And I said, I'm gonna make blackberry jam, because I've never done that on my own before. You know, when I was a little girl, I helped my mom and my grandma make raspberry jam, because raspberry jam, we always had raspberry, or still do back home, have raspberry bushes, and you know, they're considered just like blackberries, an innoxious weed kind of thing, an encroaching plant, if you will. So but we love raspberries, and so my mom has a large raspberry bush, a large raspberry area, and actually she told me this year that she's it's gotten into her, it's kind of taking over some of her other garden space that she has dedicated to like her favorite flowers, which are tiger lilies and things like that. And so she's had to really get in there and rip them out and tell them what for. So I've always done that with my mom and my grandmomsy, who, like I mentioned last episode, passed away about 10 years ago. No more than that now. Yeah. But let's see. But I've never done it on my own. And so this was, and I've never done it with any other berry except for raspberries. So I was pretty nervous, but I did a lot of research, and the next day I just got right in there and just started. And it took me a good 6 hours, I think. I made 2 batches, and it took me a good 6 hours. And even with that 2 batches, I didn't even use half of the blackberries. And so some of the blackberries I portioned out to my neighbors in my building, and some unfortunately just had to be thrown away because we just knew we couldn't eat that many. And it was very sad, but we had to do it. So, but the blackberry jam, I'm happy to say, is delicious, and I've been giving away like hotcakes. I think I've only got 4 jars left of my original batch, which is right here. Dang it, I was hoping that. So here's my original batch. So this is just a regular blackberry jam. And then on my second, I was running out of jars, so I actually had to use a very large jar for one of them. And I made blackberry cinnamon jam for this one. Now I haven't put any labels on this one yet, I gotta do that. So I've got 5 bottles of blackberry jam with cinnamon, and left that are unopened, I've got 4 bottles left of this. Now I had 12 when I started, so I've given away quite a few, and I've kept one obviously, and my husband and I have been greatly enjoying that. And so that, sorry, my apartment building is being painted today. Actually, it's being painted all week. My house is a wreck because everything that was outdoors I had to bring indoors, so that's been interesting. So we have our outdoor furniture in here, we have our grill in here, and so on and so forth. It's just a wreck. And so Watson has been on guard for the last 5 days, and any little sound, he's ready. He's got to get those painters, which is funny because he's actually become friendly with a couple of them. But so that was last weekend, and then so this weekend is my birthday weekend, and so I contacted my brother Eli and asked him, I said, for my birthday present this year, could we all just go hiking together? And I don't care where we go, you pick something that you guys enjoy. I'm just gonna like it wherever. And the reason why I asked that is because I haven't really been able to go hiking very much since since last summer, honestly. I haven't gone, this was my first time going officially hiking this summer. My husband's not a big outdoor fan, so when we go hiking, it's walks. So this one, my brother picked Horsetail Falls, or what do they call it? Tri-Falls, I think is another word for it. And it's out in the Columbia Gorge. So we all piled into the car. We were missing 2 of his kids. One of them was at work, and the other one is up in Alaska visiting the family. And but we all piled into the car yesterday, and we traveled out to the gorge by Multnomah Falls, if you know about that area. And I thought when we were setting out that it was a 3.5 mile trip, round trip. But no, it's 3.5 miles to the end of the, well, it's not even the end of the trail, but where we went to, the Horsetail part. And this was not an easy trek. They called it a moderate hike. It's not. It's an advanced hike. I couldn't keep Watson on his leash because for most of the trek, it was actually too dangerous for him to be on his leash because there were sheer cliffs, there was rock slides that we had to climb over like mountain goats, there was and there was like these tiny little areas. And so I knew that if I was trying to control Watson as he was trying to pick his way through, then one of us would fall. Does that make sense? So Watson was off his leash, and he was such a good boy. I was so proud of him. And everybody on the trail was so friendly to each other, and especially to Watson. And so at one point I thought I was going to die. I really did. Because so you go straight up on these switchbacks, and then you come down a little bit into a small little valley where there's one fall that you go underneath this little cave, not little, it's not little at all, but this cave to get around this fall, and I have pictures of this, and then you can play in the falls, and there's a tiny little pond / lake right there, and the kids loved it. And then you continue to switch back up and forth, and over the mountain and then down into a very deep ravine in which you have to switch back and forth. Then you cross a bridge and you immediately start going back up, and again, these are pretty much just straight up, and you just have the switchbacks back and forth to get back up the ravine. And so according to my Fitbit, we went 103 flights of stairs. I don't know the elevation because it wouldn't even count anyway, because we went up and down and then up and then over a teensy little bit and then down just a little bit to get to the Horsetail Falls. So I have no idea what the elevation was, but it was pretty high, and I was losing my breath a lot for a number of reasons. But my niece and nephew, Phineas and Anna, we also had Rainbow with us. She was, for probably about a quarter of it, she actually had to be carried on her dad's shoulders. Now, she's 8 years old. She had to be carried on her dad's shoulders because it was just too tough for her. Now, Phineas is 6, and no, 7, I'm sorry, he's 7, and he was just a champ. And Anna is 11 or 12. Well, and she was just really amazing, never complained once. She had the greatest energy. But those two, at the point where I thought I was going to die, we were coming back up the ravine, and we got about 3/4 of the way up, and I just could not breathe. I literally couldn't breathe. And so I just bent over, and I was just trying to catch my breath, and those two kids were just right beside their aunt, just like, "You can do this, Auntie, you can do it." Well, they don't call me Auntie, they call me M. But, you know, they were just cheering me on so much. Watson, poor little guy, he was so concerned about me. He was whining and coming at me. And I probably should have called it quits then, but I'm one of those people that when I start a hike, I finish a hike. And it doesn't matter what that takes out of me. And that's a dangerous thing. I want to point out that that is a dangerous thing. You need to be aware of where your body is and when you need to stop. But, you know, I also knew from the other people that were coming back down the trail, that we really only had a half a mile left to go before we got to the Horsetail Falls. And I was just like, I want to see it so bad. I want to. And so we pushed through. By the time I got to the Horsetail Falls, my legs, especially my bad leg, was jelly and just shaking so bad, and I just collapsed in the middle of the river, and which wasn't flowing very well. It was flowing a little bit fast, but it was shallow enough to not pull you too much or at all really, and I just collapsed right in the middle of it. And we went swimming, we went wading in the river, and, you know, we just tried to cool off because, you know, all that sweat and you had that intense heat just building up inside you. So this freezing cold, I don't think it's glacier fed, but it's frigid water was really cooling, and being able to soak my feet, my burning feet in that water so that I could have the strength to get back was very much needed. And I don't know what it was about going back. I didn't think I was going to be able to do it, because technically going downhill on my bad leg like that is even harder than going uphill. And so we went back down, and then we had to go back up the ravine, and I don't know what it was, but it took us about 3 hours to get to the Horsetail Falls and only 1 hour to get back. Yeah, it's kind of weird. But we went 6.75 miles that day, and it took us about 4 or 5 hours, because we were about an hour at our final destination. So it took us about 5 hours, I think. Actually, it took us longer because we were out there. No, that's how long it took. Never mind, I lied. And it was just amazing. We've all felt like we just conquered the world. But by the time we were back to the car, and the kids, because I was telling the kids, we've gone 12,000 steps, we've gone 14,000 steps, and we would all be cheering, and it was just really great. So that my Fitbit actually was our cheerleader, at least on the way back. It kept on motivating us. We actually kind of wanted to see if we could get to 20,000 steps. We didn't. We got to almost 17, but 1,000 steps that day. But, you know, hey, I'll take it. But when we got back to the car, all of us were just like, we need soda and we need something to eat. We need to replenish the protein in our body. And I had seen Arby's in Troutdale on the way out there, and I love Arby's, and I never get to eat it. So we went to Arby's, and they were having their dollar menu hours, and so I got, we all got like little roast beef sandwiches, what they call their sliders, and I got the biggest Diet Pepsi I could get, which jacked my sugar levels up in my body, but you know, it was worth it. And the kids they had milkshakes, and we just cooled down, and you know, in the sun there, and it was just an amazing day. Probably one of my most cherished memories to this point. That point where my niece and nephew were there for me, I can't even describe the emotions that were running through me right then. Sorry, I'm getting teary-eyed again. My brother and his wife are raising the most righteous, caring, empathetic children I have ever met. And I know I can be biased, but you know what? I have other nieces and nephews that I can't say the same for. So when I say that they are so wise emotionally and so connected, I mean it. I'm constantly astounded by the wisdom in these young kids. And it was probably the most amazing experience I've had with those children to date. Yeah, I think so. So I got back home yesterday, and I was supposed to go to dinner with friends, but I couldn't do it because I couldn't walk. And my husband actually had to massage my legs because I had all these knots in them, especially my bad leg, which he had to be really careful about because it's also very sensitive. And today I'm waddling around, but we plan on going geocaching today, my husband and I. That's something that I also asked to do on my birthday weekend. And so I think we're going to go out to Mount Angel and go geocaching out there. And I'm just so excited about it. So I know my legs will loosen up the more that I'm out there. So that's really what has happened. And that's almost 20 minutes of just talking about reviewing notes, but we still have a little bit more actually. So because I'm counting the prize drawings and stuff in the reviewing notes. So if you recall, I asked you on my last episode to please enter in for a drawing to win this Socks That Rock. Sorry guys, I put a lamp right here trying to fix the lighting problem, and I think it's just making it worse. I don't know, but this is Socks That Rock in the lightweight, so you get 405 yards in my Wild Irish Girly colorway, which I just love. And I picked a winner. There was 11 entries, and they made me cry so much. I just loved it. And I did random.org. Oh, is this gonna come up? I did random.org, and I got number 5. 2 through 11, number 5 is the winner, and that is Angelic Embers from New Jersey, Flemington, New Jersey. And Nicole, I hope you don't mind if I read out your memory of your favorite birthday, because it was just beautiful. She writes, my grandma made me a gorgeous crochet Afghan years ago for my birthday, and it's used by me almost every day over the 20+ years later. I miss her so much, but snuggling with my blanket makes me feel close to her always, even though she is no longer here. Coming from one girl who misses her grandmother to another, thank you so much for sharing that, Nicole. And I'm so grateful that you won this. So if you'll PM me on Ravelry and send me your address, I will get this out to you. Now, I do want to point out, Linda, you did win last month for the Double Dip Cal, and I'm so sorry. I haven't sent it out yet, but I'm going to. I'm so sorry. This last week was crazy sauce. But and so I've closed off the birthday cow. Now, the double dip cow for this month, because it is my birthday month, I picked out something extra special to give away, and that is the Aguna laptop bag from Knit Picks, and it comes in this kit. Oh my gosh, that lighting is so bad. I'm just gonna have to fix it now. So it comes with everything you need as far as yarn and pattern goes. And that's still going on till the end of July. All right, or until I close the thread, because, you know, whatever. So let me see if I don't knock you guys. We'll just put it down here. Makes me kind of look ghost-like. Okay. What if we just turn it off? We're just gonna have to turn it off. Sorry, guys, and just see how that goes. Whew. Changing things around. So, the double dip cow for July is going on. The rules for that are, please enter in to win this kit from Knit Picks with all of the goodies in it. And the way you do that is you go onto the thread in our Ravelry group, AndersMill, and you post in there about what you've entered into as far as other knit-alongs, craft-alongs, crochet-alongs, whatever you want to, whatever you're doing. And you just give us a link to where you're going and what cow you're talking about, so that we can enter in as well. And it has to be an active cow, and I don't require that you finish any of your projects. I know a lot of people post things in there when they're finished. Don't worry about that. If you've got just a toe on a sock or the cuff of a sock, you can enter that in. And so that the purpose of that is twofold. Well, no, just really onefold. I've mentioned this plenty of times, how I'm really bad with tracking other podcasters and groups, knit-alongs, craft-alongs, crochet-alongs, and I want to enter into these things. And I know other people have a hard time tracking these things as well. So I thought if we all pulled our resources together, we could get, you know, have more knowledge of that. And so to incentivize that, each month I have a prize. So usually, well, actually I think only once or twice has it been from somebody else. The rest of the time it's always just been from me. I pull it from my stash, or I go out and buy you something. So that's for this month. I don't know what August is going to be yet, so keep your ears tuned for that. And finally, we have the Super Summer, no, not Super Summer, just the Summer Stripe Along CAL, cow. Okay, I'm good. And that's going like gangbusters. And oh my gosh, guys, so we've now officially got things other than knitting in our FO thread. So Crochet Kelly, she put up this beautiful, it's a striped snowman quilt top that she put up in the FO thread. It is so beautiful, and like, to cuddle underneath that in the winter time would be amazing. And then one of our moderators, oh crap, sorry, I didn't just swear, no I didn't, but Destined to Knit, oh, it is Kim. Jeez, why do I doubt myself when I think I don't know somebody's name? But she put on, she spun some self-striping, or she made sure that it was self-striping. So hallelujah to you two gals for getting something in there outside of knitting, because that's why we did it as a craft along. We wanted to stretch our abilities. Now, I've been stretching my abilities in knitting, but not so much in, well, definitely not in anything else. I have been thinking about doing something with painting that's along the striping thing. I kind of wanted to do maybe an art journal page around stripes, so I was thinking about doing that. But we got in, so if you're participating in this, go on over to the Summer Stripe Along CAL group on Ravelry and check out our chatter thread, which is very active. It's really awesome. And you'll see on the front page there all of our prizes that we've had donated, or that those of us that are moderators have donated to it as well. And so the podcast participating in that is Destined to Knit, Simply Stashless, Hudson Valley Knit. I keep thinking of the girls' handles rather than their podcast names. Giddy Knits, and then myself, AndersMillknits. And this week I got another lovely prize donation, and this is from Show Me Yarn Gals. Now this is a group of women out of, I believe, Tennessee, is that correct? Who do self-striping yarn, who have a business called Show Me Yarn, and they donated this awesome hot pink, yeah, it is that bright, to the podcast. Now this is called Truly Outrageous, and this is an 80-20 superwash merino and nylon mix, and it's about 400 yards. So there you go. So you're gonna have a chance to win that. So I'll put that back into our prize thread and keep it all nice. Prize basket, and keep it all nice and cozy. And when Stephanie Hot Pink Socks was out here visiting and we had dinner, she actually gave me the prize that she has donated to the CIL, the Stripe Along, and it's gorgeous. It's one of her reclaimed and reused sweater bags, and it's so sophisticated. And then it does that, right? Retro awesomeness, baby. I love everything about this. So amazing. We had a long talk about how she did this, and she sits there and she just tells me in a breezy offhand, see, this is the ribbing at the bottom of the sweater, and she just tells me in this offhand manner how she goes about doing it, and I'm just like, my jaw's dropping. I'm like, I don't care what you say, Stephanie. This is amazing. To be able to keep the integrity and even improve on the integrity of the sweaters that you find at, secondhand shops by doing this. Astounding. Astounding. So those are the ones that are going on now, and so if you guys all want to join in, that'd be great. So let me go on over. I believe we're now at 27 minutes, and we're gonna just start in on our knitting content. So this week I'm cheating and saying this is case notes when it's not. I know that, but I haven't had the nerve to finish this. So, but I am very proud of it so far. I have finished the tube of 26 inches of knitting for my Afterthought Everything socks, and I used the Kirby Werby and What in Tarnation colorway that she specially dyed up for me and Steph, and I'm very proud of this, and I kind of don't want to do anything with it because, oh, there, right there, I'm done. I'm in traction with hot pinks, with Kirby Werby knits, and I'm good with that. I can do traction like this. I have never done a true Afterthought anything, so I have to research out all of this, and to tell you the truth, how to do it, and to tell you the truth, I have been so consumed with another knit project that I'm working on that this was not high on my priority list because of it, but I will get it done. And I plan on, just so you know, I plan on taking one of my mini skeins from my jar. Now this is just a sample of minis and scraps that I have, but I plan on taking something out of here. I was leaning towards this guy. I thought that would be pretty, but then of course there's, oh man, but see, then there's the purple. That would be pretty. Oh yeah, the yellow. I was looking at the yellow too. Why is that just not, do I need to take it out? Looking at the yellow, maybe. I would be so happy. Yeah. So I've got a lot to choose from just in that jar alone. So, I'm gonna do the toes and the heels in a contrasting, and it might even be multiple contrastings. Who knows? Maybe I'll have two different contrasts, and maybe I'll just shake things up and do whatever the heck I want. Maybe one toe will be one color and the other toe will be another color, and heels and whatever, you know? It would be great. So that's my case notes for you. Now in session, this is awesome. Oh wait, no, I'm gonna make you wait. In session, I have cast on another pair of socks, and I cast on in my Query fibers from my club shipments that I did last year, I believe. Yeah, it was last year. And I got, this one was the Heirloom Carrots. And I have been wanting to cast this on ever since I got it. I hope I get really annoyed with myself when I watch back my episodes, because I think to myself, you don't hold things up to the camera long enough, Emily. You're so excited about things. You gotta stop it and just hold things steady so people can actually see what in the tarnation you're showing them. Okay, so the cake is already kind of looking like a boob, but you know, it's all stretched out. And let's see, I haven't actually counted how many stripes are in here, but let's see. And this is what it is knitted up. I love this pinky color up there. So the thought process behind this is heirloom carrots, so like the organic carrots that they sell, like you can find them at Fred Meyer's a lot. So these are all the different colors of the carrots that you can actually get, and oh my gosh, they're so delicious. So let's see, she's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different colorways in this. So it's a 10 stripe repeat. It's so freaking fun! Oh, I love it. I'm just gonna do my normal thing out of this. I'm gonna do my, you know, that would be fun. To do a fish lips kiss heel, but keep it in the striping and just see what happens. I think I'm just gonna do a straight sock with my fish lips kiss heel, no contrasting, no nothing, and just see what happens with this. I'm excited to see that. So that's cast on, and that will get love today because my husband and I are gonna go out to Mount Angel, so I'll have about a half an hour in the car to knit. So I'll be doing that. And that's housed in my Girl Cave bags. Everybody's always like, wow, that's really bright. And I just love this. It's a knit stitch, a computer generated knit stitch. There you go. And I love it. And I love her little tag down here, which is a button. Right? Okay, now for the thing that I've been working on, like, obsessively. Why is it whenever I podcast I get really thirsty? It must just be that I talk so much. And come on, Emily talks a lot. But I have been working on my Vera Valimaki breathing space, and now this is on a 32-inch set of needles, and so it's very much squished on, but here it is. I have completed the bodice or the yoke part right up here. Now you can see the colors in all my purple hand dyed that I did. And then the hedgehog fibers is in there, and I can't remember the colorway name, so I'll have to bring that out. But I'm now, okay, so here's all the short rowing going on right here, which was so freaking fun, guys. Oh my gosh, was that fun. I have never knit a sweater in this construction, and I just love it so much. But now I've joined back in the round, and I'm knitting for about 3 inches past the armhole on this side before I do my next step. And I think I'm at 2 inches right now. But as it stands, this is still my first little skein of hedgehog. And remember, I broke it up into 6 different skeins, so I'll just switch out. So, because I had different plans for it. And I'm still working on my first skein of my hand dyed too. For some odd reason, I feel like this is not going to take very much yarn. I just feel like I have way more yarn that is needed for this project, and I'm okay with that. because I can then use it on different things. I'm so happy with this. I'm so in love. Like, I just know this is gonna look fantastic on me. I did put this on waist yarn and put it on, and guess what? It actually fits. I didn't do any modifications. Remember last time I was talking about how I was gonna do what Amy Beth talked about of fixing the increases? I didn't need to. It fits me like a glove, like a dream. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. And I'm knitting this on the size, let's see if I can find it. That's the collar. Does it tell me what size I'm on? Well, I'm knitting it on the second to largest, so I don't know if that's the extra large or the extra large. Oh, here we go. So I'm knitting it on the 46-inch bust, which surprised me because, you know, I feel like I'm a big girl, but I guess I'm not. Well, okay, that's not true. I do have weight on me, specifically around my middle. What it is, though, is that I see myself as so much larger than I think everybody else sees me. Because generally speaking, I see my bust area and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm so fat. And, you know, I have those rolls in my back that make me, I'm very embarrassed about my back area. And I don't even want my husband to see it. So I don't wear tight-fitting clothing because I don't want my rolls to show through the tight-fitting clothing. I don't care if my belly shows. For some odd reason, it's just my back rolls that I don't care about, don't want to show. So that means I wear more loose-fitting clothing, which then, because of my larger chest, means that my clothes hang out in such a way that it makes me look a lot larger than I actually am. And so I just don't know. Maybe I need to change my thought process about my wardrobe. But this, honestly, this sweater is making me rethink the way I fit in clothing. So we'll wait and see at the end, okay? So that's my big project. So I'm knitting these on my carbon size 3 needles. Now I had to go down. Remember we talked last time about all of my different swatches that I did. So the body of my sweater I actually had to go down 1 needle size to US size 3. And that is a, you know what, I don't know, it's been rubbed off. But anyway, so this fabric that is happening with this I really love. Look, isn't even the back side is so cool with all the little ridges. Oh, I just love it. Anyway, oh, speaking of needles, I splurged last night and went on Amazon because I was reading online. I have problems with, I have like knitter's elbow, right? And I had to take that week off knitting to heal it up. And so I've been trying to read about posture and the way I hold my needles and the correct kind of needles to maybe use if you're more sensitive to wrist ache and hand ache, and like I have to do like this, like I'm cheering somebody sometimes. Yay! Oh, look at that. Ooh. Okay. Anyway, so I can pop my elbow when I'm knitting. And I guess the square needles by Collage with a K are supposed to be very good for people who tend to suffer from those things. So they're $15.60 a needle, but I still went online and I ordered a size, my most common sizes that I use. So I ordered a size 0, a size 4, and a size 6 from Amazon, and they should hopefully be here today and tomorrow. So I don't know if I'm gonna I have an idea of what I'm gonna use my size 0s for, but we'll wait and see. So that'll be in my toolbox the next time, and hopefully I'll even be able to do a review. Speaking of in my toolbox, I could not wait anymore. I was trying to actually show you my packages in the order of when I received them, but the thing is I feel like I'm going to cast on something in this package so I'm going to go out of order. And technically, I received all of them within like a day or two of each other. So, you know. But, Stephanie and I got together for dinner while she was here over the 4th of July weekend. And she got me a Christmas in July gift package. And, oh my gosh, this one I love. It suits me so well. She got me a little tote that I think I'm now going to use for my sweater. I don't know. Because my sweater is so large, I can't fit it into one bag. But look, yarn is my therapy. Hello, counselor, therapy. Right on. And I just love the graphics. It's so great. So I got that from her, and I believe she said it was at Joann's. Michael's maybe? It was readily available. Let's just put it that way. I already threw away the tag, so I have no idea who it's made by. Stephanie, if you know, maybe you can comment down in the comment thread or on YouTube, because I know I've got a bunch of viewers that don't even go to Ravelry that are on YouTube. Then she got me from Stunning String Studio. She got me the cutest pair of scissors, miniature scissors with this rubber stopper on them that you just pull off, and they are extremely sharp. And I have been wanting to have these readily available in my bag, but I was like, no, I have to wait till I show them. So here they are. I like it. Now I have been able to find that you can get a whole jar of these super snips online, and they're not very expensive. You can get a whole jar of them of mixed colors and stuff for, I can't remember the price, but because I loved it so much when she gave it to me. When I got home, I immediately went online and looked, and I was surprised and pleasantly surprised at the price tag associated with these. So I got some super snips, and they're gonna go in my project bag. Then, woohoo, this one's so cool. So from Little Bitty Delights, I have linked her shop, her online shop, in the thread but she doesn't have anything in her shop at the moment because she's restocking, and she's got some wholesale orders that she's doing according to the message on her website. This is my first ever food item for a Progress Keeper, and I love it. So it's a Pop-Tart, and just wait. Do you see the jam in the middle of the Pop-Tart? Isn't that amazing? And it's so lightweight, and the texture on it is astounding. Like, this weighs nothing. Maybe, I don't even, I'm like squeaking, I'm so excited. But I love this. And so this is going on my sweater. So there we go. That's going on my sweater. Everything is for my sweater these days, girls, you know. And then finally, the piece de resistance. She got her greedy little hands on another Kirby Werby hand-dyed 2 skeins. So she kept one and she gave me the other one. Look, okay, stop, Emily. Stop moving. Oh my freaking gosh. So this is the Granny Bell colorway. And look at that orange in there. Do you see it? It's like an orangey red, which I love. I hate red, but I love orangey red. Okay, so this is what I'm thinking. I've been wanting and aching to cast on a sockhead hat in self-striping, but I'm nervous because I don't know what that will do to the stripes in a skein. So my plan is to go on Ravelry and look at the Kirby Werby projects, hopefully there's some projects in this colorway and I can see the depth of the stripes, and I'll just go for it. Now, I have seen some people, like on 90% Knitting, Lisa, she showed some of her self-striping skeins that she knit up in hats, and it looked really good. It didn't particularly look self-striping, but it was more like color blocking, intentional color blocking. Does that make sense? Because the stripes change when you put it on a wider circumference. So that's my thought process around this. So, and I was thinking, I can't remember what size. I think I actually used a size 2 needle, so I didn't actually get for the sockhead hat, so I don't think I got the right size for me to, on the square needles, so I could do that. Maybe I'll go on there and order myself a size 2, because you know what? It's my birthday, and I can do whatever the hell I want. Do I have to do an explicit thing right there because I said that? I don't know. Anyway, so that's my last little in my toolbox. I've been, oh, but it's not. These aren't knitting related, and I won't be able to show you a picture right now because, or even scan over to them, because like I said, my house is an utter wreck. But last weekend I also went garage sailing, and I got myself for $5, I got myself a huge bookcase. It goes almost to our ceiling. It's wonderful, because I've been telling my husband that I've been really wanting to find something to help clean up some of the mismatched, Mod Podge / just cluttery feeling I have in the house. And you know, it's to be expected. We live in a really small 2-bedroom apartment, and we've combined 2 households into that one apartment, and we don't have any storage outside of this apartment. We don't rent a garage, we don't rent a storage unit, and so to find places, like for instance this right here is the box to my TV, and so I just put a sheet over it and made it into like a little credenza type thing behind my couch there. You know, it's not the most attractive thing, but you know, we find ways to work with what we have. And so our house, I feel, is a little bit more cluttery than I would like, and so I've been trying to find ways to mitigate that. And so I found that, and I'm very pleased with it. It's right here, right next to the window and the couch. Then I also found for $5 an unused, and just been sitting in somebody's garage, one of those from Fred Meyer's, those storage benches with the padded seat on top, and it was like faux leather. Never used, never. I mean, I had to do minimal cleaning of this piece, and so now all of our throw blankets and everything is housed in there. And a lady who I met, and she was so wonderful. Her dog passed away, and she had breast cancer as well, and she had just had surgery on. She had two mastectomies, so she, you know, lost her. She lost her breasts, and so she still, even at her garage sale, she still had the drainage pumps / cups hanging outside of her shirts to catch any drainage from her wounds. And so her dog passed away less than a week after she had her surgery, and this dog she had had for so long. She was queen of the castle, and you could tell she was well loved just by the way the woman spoke of her. And I had Watson with me that day, not grocery shopping, but garage sailing, and the woman had 2 dog beds and a nice big basket of toys that the dog had loved. And Watson just immediately took to everything. Like, he would just lay down in the dog beds, and he couldn't decide which dog bed he liked more. And so the lady wanted to give me these, but I ended up giving them about $5, I think, for the whole kit and caboodle. And we took them home, and we gave one of the dog beds, after I washed everything, we gave one of the dog beds to my neighbor, Shauna, and because her dog doesn't have one either. So, oh shoot, I forgot her dog's name. But anyway. So that was a really sweet moment to share with that lady and her kids, her grown kids who were there, and they all just loved Watson. So, which speaking of, he is so tired today from a 7-mile hike. But as soon as we got home, he had to get in the bath, and he's so soft today, aren't you, Bubba? Yeah, you gotta make sure that everything is okay in here. We all good? Anybody trying to come and get us? Yeah. Oh, that breath. Well, that's what's happened. That's what's happened in the last 2 weeks, and all the yummy goodness that I've been knitting on and having all the fun times with my family. And I hope you all are having a wonderful July, enjoying the warm weather that seems to be sweeping the country. Actually, some places seems to have really a cool summer, but other places a pretty hot, humid summer. But I hope you all are really enjoying your time out in the sunshine and soaking it all up. I want you to know that I love you and I appreciate you coming back at time after time. Isn't that a song? Time after time. And I remember, everybody, to knit what you love and love what you knit. Take care.